he may charge across that open ground into that artillery. It'll be like it'll be like a scene from Gettysburg. We'll have him run across the open field into the artillery fire. Hello and welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. Time to start another turn of Battle Hymn P Ridge. So this will, let's see, the hour marker is going to move up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is the last turn that the Confederates will have the initiative. So I will take away those markers. Next turn we will put the Confederate combat chit into the cup, but this time they do still have the initiative. Let's get the chit pull cup out and we put in all the Confederate chits from last turn, all of the Union chits from last turn, and with turn 5 we now put in the 2nd Division, which are the 2 orange banded units down here, the south end of the map, which is a good thing to get those moving because we've got some serious troubles ahead, it looks like. So let's jump right in. All right, we will pull the first chit out of the cup. And I will mention last turn, we did have some combat around Elkhorn Tavern, and over here there was a cavalry unit trying to go up the hill. I could have chosen to advance after combat in, I think, both of those cases, but I didn't. I just didn't mention it in the video. I noticed that. But so remember that you can advance after combat if you wish to in certain cases. So the first chit out of the cup is the Davis 3rd Division for the Union. So let's move that to the used markers. And these are the units that are around this Pratt store. And the only thing that I could do here is maybe advance this infantry onto that Texas cavalry over there, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave them sitting right where they're at. I kind of like where they're at for now, so I don't think there are any other of those units. So let's pull another chit from the cup. And it is Price's Division, which is around Elkhorn Tavern. So this probably is going to take some thought. And so I'm looking at starting over here with this cavalry. Let's see, can I bring him around behind this unit? Or even to here? It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get him here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I could get him back here. That's not a bad idea. Let's do that. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This artillery, I could bring him forward, but then he would get approach fire. He's got a movement factor of 8, so it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a clear hex, so that would give him line of sight to this infantry brigade. So let's do that. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I believe that gives him line of sight. I think, we'll have to check, but I think that's probably gives him line of sight to either one of these units. Okay, and I am going to bring this unit, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do that. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that'll earn him an approach fire marker. And so he is moving. It's going to be the approach fire from that Union infantry from this direction. I am still, I know we have control of Elkhorn Tavern, but I don't really want to move back into Elkhorn Tavern because that 8 strength point infantry brigade that went in there got just completely blown away, so I don't want to do that again. So we have artillery up here, a lot of artillery sitting around. I could go, and can artillery cross the creek? I don't know. Creek is a +3 to movement cost. Hit modifier does not apply to firing artillery. It doesn't say it can't pass through there though. So I don't believe, let me check the special rules for P Ridge to see if there's some terrain notes. There are terrain notes, but only for forest. And we haven't really had a lot of movement through forest because the forest is the darker green on the map. It says nothing about the creek though, so they can move across the creek, but it'll add +3 to the movement. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so he couldn't do it all in one turn. I could go to here. Let's do that for now. Let's go down to here. And now we have this infantry unit. And then this infantry unit, I could go, let's see, he's on the road, so I could go 1, 4, 7 to get to here. And I got to be careful about blocking my units from retreat if they have to. I don't think I want to bring him around this way. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 7 to here, I think I said, right? 1, 4, 7 to here. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go, so it's 7 to here. It would be, I guess, well, it is a road, so I could go another 1.5, so it'd be 8.5. So I'm going to move him back to behind this artillery unit with maybe the intent of bringing him around this way. And that is it, I believe, for Price Division. Yeah, so let's go with that and pull the next chit from the cup. And it is the Union 2nd Division. That's the one that just came in this turn. And we definitely want to get them up to Leetown post haste. So this artillery can go 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7.5. This infantry, let's see, he can go, he's crossing to get, well, let's see, don't want to go, let's go forward, I guess. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. Well, now, wait a minute. He's going to have to cross a slope or a creek, which is, well, they're both going to be, they're both going to be +3, so it's not going to matter. So let's just go 1, 2, 3. It's going to be, let's see, so that was 3 to here, so he's down to 6. It's going to be 5 to get to this hex because of that creek. And that's as far as he can go because that is a minor road, so he doesn't have enough movement to go the additional hex. All right, so that was it for those units. Let's go now to the Chit Pull Cup again. I think that was all, yeah, it's just those two. And we pull the Missouri State Guard. Okay, that's up here again. Well, we're going to leave this artillery unit where it's at. I'm going to bring this one forward. 1, 2, 3. Now he, I believe, can hit this unit as well. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he can hit. Odds are he won't because he's so far away. So I'm just going to leave him there. This unit, which is damaged, looks like he's got down to 2 strength points, effectively. I think I'm going to leave him there for now. I don't know. Let's see. This one's down to 5. So with a demoralization really down to 4. So he's not terribly bad right now. I am going to, I could step this one forward. Might not be a bad idea. Although, like I said, he is down to 2 strength points. And I believe this artillery can still fire at this one, because I don't think units block line of sight in this game. And grabbing the rule book, yes, units never block line of sight. So I could definitely do that. I think I'm going to move him forward to here. That will earn the approach fire marker again, but I feel like the Confederates do need to be aggressive here. So that's an approach fire marker. I'm going to leave this one where he's at. I'm not going to move him. That'll be it for the Missouri State Guard. Back to the chit pull cup. And it is the 1st Division for the Union. And that's all over here, so let's get that out of the way. 1st Division, I am not going to do anything. I'm going to leave them in place. Again, I could approach this cavalry unit and try to take some shots, but I think they're better off defending Lee Town. So I'm going to leave them where they're at. Let the Confederates come to me. And the next chit is the 4th Division. So the 4th Division is over here. So I can move out of the zone of control of this cavalry unit if I want to. But where to go? Where to go? Could go over here. But is that... And I'm looking because I have this guy's in trouble. He's facing artillery across this open field, and he's got the cavalry unit behind him. So do I just stand there? Again, these Confederate units have low morale, and the infantry brigade there has high morale, so I could just risk it and try to... So see, these units have all moved now, so they're not going anywhere else. We still have the combat chit for the Union to come out, so we could just stand here and combat. And so that unit can actually, like I said, leave the zone of control of the enemy, but he cannot re-enter the zone of control, so I couldn't like move him anywhere around here. I could also go this way. I guess I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and set him here with the intent of maybe going after this artillery or even this infantry. That may not be a bad idea. It'd be very risky to go after the artillery though. And I hate to bring units away from the main action that far. I could bring him back here and think about, well, see, I don't know. This is a tough decision. Or I could just leave him there. Or I could even move him forward into the clear. But again, like I said, the clear hexes are just death traps. I don't want to do that. And I can't anyway because it's still the zone of control of the enemy unit, so never mind. So basically it's either go here, go over here, or just stand the ground where he's at. And I really don't think I want to stay here because I am in line of this artillery. I think I might move him back over here with the intent of bringing him back into the battle this way. Let's do that. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and just stop there. Now I can hear some of you screaming right now, but that's okay. That's okay. We're here to learn. And I don't think I want to move any of these. I may want to move this artillery unit. And what I could do is I could move him back into this hex that this infantry just vacated, and we have artillery trading fire with artillery. Or I could still take pop shots at that unit from over here, but that wasn't very effective last time. Could also, well, let's see, that's cavalry sitting there now. Let's look at the combat modifiers for artillery and cavalries. I think if cavalry is attacking, cavalry versus artillery is at a -3, so actually that's not a bad idea. Artillery versus cavalry is at a +3, so yeah, maybe we want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess we could also go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I can't get there. So let's do that. Let's just go this way. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will get him an approach fire marker, but that's okay. So he is moving towards that cavalry unit. And that's it for the 4th Division. That's all I want to do there. And I'm looking because, like I said, these colors are so close. But I think I've got them split pretty good now. So that's it. Let's go back to the Chit Pull Cup. Things are getting interesting over there at Elkhorn Tavern. Now we pull the independents for the Confederates. Those are these two units over here that I don't really know what to do with. Well, at least the Indian unit. Because like I said, he can't enter the zone of control of an enemy, so it's kind of useless to have him. And if he can't be bombarded, so I really don't know what good he is. Yeah, I don't know, other than, like I said, blocking, maybe retreat for the Union units. I don't know what good that unit is, honestly. I'm going to leave him sit right there. This artillery, though, can be of use, and so I do want to do something with the artillery. Now, I could move him this way, but one thing to note is if the artillery were sitting here in this wooded hex, then there's this minor road that goes straight into this infantry brigade. It looks like that maybe the artillery would be able to fire down the road and hit that infantry brigade, but that's not the way this works. From Eric Smith himself, he states that the roads and the minor roads affect movement only, that the line of sight is still blocked from back here. So I couldn't sit here and take shots down the road, which makes sense. You know, and these roads shows them straight, but who's to say they're not kind of curved through the woods anyway? And I think that's why that Eric said what he said. Well, that and he designed the game, and he can say what he wants to say, right? All right, so I am gonna move the artillery. I go 1, 2, 3. I'm not gonna bring them all the way in yet, though. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4.5 to here. So if they're getting close, I'm gonna set them outside there for now. And that will do it for the Confederate Independent Brigade. So let's go back to the chip pull cup. And we pull the Union Independent Brigades, or in this case, brigade, because there's only one left. And that's up here. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to move it. Not going to move it. So let's go back to the chit pull cup. Getting low on chits. The next chit is... that is the Macintosh Brigade. The gray markers, all those cavalry units running around. And so let's see. Let's start down here with this one. So let's see something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just looking to see if I can maybe attack one of these flanks with these 3 cavalry units over here. Maybe I do that. Maybe I come try to attack this flank. I could go 1, 2, 3. So I get 1 to there. I need to get him over here. Well, no, I don't really. Actually, if I can just get 1 here and 1 here, that would be probably good. Let's do, and this is the furthest one out. His morale's -1, but these are both at 0, so they're the better units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I could definitely do it. So let's do that. This will be 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter. He's got more than enough units to come into here. That will earn him an approach fire marker. So now they are firing that way, and then this one's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Yeah, he's got enough to do that. So he's going to come down here. And again, I'm putting the approach fire markers on the wrong units. So that one's going to get an approach fire marker as well from the same unit, which means he will have to split his fire. Like that. And then this unit, let's just have him come in to here. He'll get an approach fire marker. Gonna be a lot of combat this turn, I got a feeling. He can start chipping away at that flank if he's lucky. All right, and then we still have these 2 over here. And I could have them maybe come around this way to block these Union units in Elkhorn Tavern, in the Elkhorn Tavern area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would also split his approach fire, so that would help this guy. So let's do that. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he's going to get an approach fire marker. Got a lot of ganging up going on here. And this unit, it would be, is it clear as 1 or 2? I think it's 2 for clear terrain for movement. It is, movement cost 2, be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do that. We're going to bring him this way. Or do we bring him over here? No, well, he's certainly got enough to go either way here. Well, let's leave him there. He'll take shots at that unit. Why not? So he'll get an approach fire marker from this direction. And that is it for the Macintosh Brigade. Let's go back to the Chit Bowl Cup. Now, do the Confederates want to do combat yet? Probably not. And we pull the McCulloch, it says on the bottom here. I couldn't read that for some reason. So, infantry up here. And again, I don't want them in the open field because that is just asking for trouble. I think what I might do, though, is move them a little closer with the intent of, I don't think I want to attack this turn. I think I want to bring these units down a little closer. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he can just move in behind this way. You know what? I'm going to bring him over here. He may charge across that open ground into that artillery. It'll be like it'll be like a scene from Gettysburg. We'll have him run across the open field into the artillery fire. All right, and now do the Confederates want to take their combat turn now? And I think there's only one combat. Yeah, so the Union combat chit is next. So let's go ahead. I think the Confederates are going to play their combat initiative marker here and resolve combat. So let's start over here. Get our chart. Combat resolution chart out. Okay, so defender cavalry retreat before combat. So the Confederates are attacking. These are both cavalry. They're not going to retreat because the whole purpose of this was to inflict damage on that infantry brigade. Attacker bombardment. I guess we need to do attacker bombardment. That would, the only place we could do that would be over here. And I'll have to look and see if, so this is considered a clear hex. And it's down the spine of these two hexes, but it says that the rules state that if it's clear in one of those hexes, then he has line of sight. So I believe this one can bombard that infantry unit. And again, this one can bombard that horse artillery. So let's do attacker bombardment. We'll start with this one. She's firing at the unit that is in the woods. So where did my D10 go for that? It is in the woods, so that it is a 3 to start with. And -1 because of the morale will take it to 2. So the artillery unit is looking for a 2 or less, and he gets to roll 4 D10. So let's see what he gets. That is all misses, so nothing. All right, so that artillery unit fired. This artillery unit now can fire at this horse artillery. Again, starts off in the woods, so the target is 3. Morale is -1, takes it down to 2. And he can fire 4 D10 worth of strength points. So let's see what he gets. Looking for one or two. Completely misses. Now this artillery unit, 1, 2, 3, and I forgot to take into account the ranges for both of those shots. So it would have, not that it mattered, I missed anyway, but I need to forgot to account for the range attenuation. You got to do that. So this one could fire 1, 2, 3. And really in this case, I think all it would have meant was they were looking for ones instead of 2 or 1. So that luckily turned out good. 1, 2, 3. Artillery attenuation on that is -4. So he's firing, he's at 0, yeah, he's got to get a 1. So he's going to fire 4d10, he's got to get a 1. No, complete miss. So that's all the attacker artillery on this side. No attacker artillery here. The only artillery over there is in the woods and can't see anybody yet. So that is it for the attacker bombardment. Now we go to attacker retreat before combat. And I don't think anybody wants to retreat here. They probably do, but they're not going to. And now we resolve approach fire, which we have a ton of. So let's start on this side of the map this time. And we have these two units are taking approach fire, so he's going to have to split his fire. I'm just going to split it 4 and 4. So let's start here with this unit, which is in the woods. So again, you start at 3 because that's your target number. And the morale here, actually we have infantry firing at cavalry this time, so that's also a modifier. Infantry versus cavalry is +2. So that's going to bring this to 5. And then another +1 for morale, so that's going to bring this to 6. And I believe that is it. Checking the combat situations chart, it is. So he's going to fire 4 strength points, d10s at that cavalry. You're looking for a 6 or less to hit. So that is 3 hit. And I will grab a 3 hit marker. So he'll take 3 hits. And now he's firing at, it's the same thing. Exactly the same thing, looking for a 6 or less to hit that cavalry. And that looks like 3 hits again. So that was probably a good thing for the Union there, and the Confederates gambled and it didn't pay off. So this unit will take 3 hits. So let's come back towards Pratt's store. And this cavalry is in the woods, starts at 3. This unit is firing, his morale is 0, so nothing gets added for that. He's infantry firing on cavalry, which I just said was a +1. So this comes up to 4. So looking for a 4 or less to hit, and he gets to fire 6. Let's get this fire approach marker out of the way. He gets to fire 6d6, so I've got 5 blue. I'm going to add another, let's add a black in there. So, looking for 4 or less. Oh my goodness. So that looks like 3 hits. Okay, well, that's not too bad. So let me find another. I'm running out of 3 hit markers. So 3 hits on that cavalry. So that's why you don't want to run cavalry into infantry. But you probably already knew that. And more approach fire over here. So this unit can only attack one of these because he was approached from 2 different sides. It's artillery. Actually, Yeah, it is artillery versus cavalry. So he gets a +3 if he fires at the cavalry, but what's going on here? This unit is near being wiped out. It's got 3 strength points. Demoralized. Only fire 1 though. Yeah, let's fire at the infantry. Well, do I want to do that? Or do I want that +3 against that cavalry again? Because that was pretty powerful. Do I want to weaken the infantry or do I want to try to really weaken the cavalry? It's only one D10. Let's attack the infantry. I think that's probably the, well, yeah, let's go ahead and attack the infantry. So we are looking at in the woods again, so that's 3. No modifier for morale or different unit type. Well, no, wait a minute. It's artillery firing at infantry, so there is a modifier. So artillery versus, oh, I thought there was a modifier for that. They do get a +1 because they're adjacent, so that's what it is. So it goes to 4. And they are going to fire at that infantry. They got a 5, so that's a miss. And then over here, we've got this infantry is firing at this approaching infantry in the woods, so that's a 3. And +2 morale, so that takes him to 5. And it's not split fire, so he gets to fire 5 D10 at that Confederate infantry, looking for 5 or less. Oh man, that's only 1 hit. Wow, not good at all. If I can find a 1-hit marker, there's one. So let's get this off. And that is a 1 hit on that unit. And then we have one final down here. And it is this cavalry firing on this artillery. So cavalry, well, let's see. Let's go ahead and start with this at 3. Get these out of here. It is -1 because of the morale. So let's take it down to 2. And this unit is moving. See, I think I forgot to subtract out the moving too. But again, it's the numbers are so skewed in favor of one of the other sides. I don't think it really matters much. But you've got, when they're moving, it's a -3 also. So that's going to take it down. Basically, it's going to be, they have to get a 1 to hit. Actually, that probably would have helped on this one, and maybe even this one. But I'm going to let it go for now because I forgot, and that was my fault. So we're looking for a 1 to hit. Nope, that's a miss. So this comes off. And that is that. And so, you know what? I think, let me go back and redo these rolls because I don't think I accounted for that movement. I forgot it. I don't know why, but I did. So we're going to put these off to the side. We're just going to re-roll these. And so it was, in each of these instances, it was the Union firing on the Confederates. So what it should have been was, this unit is in the woods, so it's at 3. And it is 0 morale, so it's +0. And then what I forgot was and it's also infantry firing at cavalry. Infantry versus cavalry is +2, so that would bring it up to 5. And then the moving penalty that I forgot would bring this back down to 2. So that's what I should have been rolling against, was a 2. So he would fire 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 D10. And he would be looking for a 2 or less to hit. So let's do this again. So that looks like just 1 hit instead of 3. I think that's a little more realistic. So I'm glad I caught that in time. That would have been 1 hit. And then over here, it was, these two were the same. They were in the woods, so it would have started at 3. The morale for the infantry would bring it up to 4. And then it is infantry versus cavalry, which gave it +2, so it would be at 6. But then those units were moving, so it goes back down to 3. Yeah, this is better. I'm glad I caught that. Because that would have been too many hits on those units. It seemed kind of funny when I was going through it anyway. So now we are looking for, and it was 4 D10s because he has to split his fire. So he's looking for, let's just get these out of the way for now. So he's looking for 3 or less now instead of 6. On the first one, that is 1 hit. And again, on the one next to him, it's the same numbers, looking for 3 or less, not 6 or less. And see, that's a complete miss. Let's get these out of here. All right, so let's resolve the hits. Now we only have 1 over here. And this Confederate cavalry has 0 morale, which is unusual for the Confederates in this particular game. Looking for a 6 or higher to pass the morale check. And that is, what is that? I can't see it. It is it's a 9, so he passes with flying colors. So that hit is taken as a demoralization. So let's grab a, all right, so we got a 1 demoralization marker on this top cavalry unit. I'll take away that hit marker. All right, we've got 1 down here to resolve. So he's got to make a morale check, looking for 6 or higher, but he's got a -1 morale. So that is a 6, barely passes, but he passes. So that's going to be another 1 demoralization marker. Oh, did I forget to, looks like I forgot an approach fire marker there. Got to look carefully. So we'll get to that in just a second. So let's go ahead and resolve this since we already got it started. So he takes a hit. Got a -1 morale. 4, so he rolls a 3. That is a failure. So this hit will be taken as a strength point loss. And so he's down to 3 strength points now. And because this was approach fire, I don't believe there's retreats. Verify that real quick. Approach fire. Yeah, no retreats. Okay, so I forgot one over here. So this cavalry was taking approach fire from this infantry. Starts in the woods. Nothing for morale. And the -3 moving. So he's got to roll a 1 here to hit. And he gets 6 D10. And that is 6 D10. Let's move this. Looking for 1 is the only thing that can hit here. And that is 1 hit. Get that Confederate die out of there. So 1 hit on that cavalry. So let's go ahead and do a morale check. Resolve it now since we're at the end of this. So looking for a 6 or higher, but he's at -2. That is a failure. So it is taken as a strength point loss. So he's down to 1 now, it looks like. So where is a 1 strength point marker? There it is. Okay, so that is it for approach fire. That was a lot of approach fire. Now we have to resolve the actual combat. So we did approach fire, now we do the engagements, and we do the first round of those. So over here, we've got this engagement, and the Confederates are the attackers here. I don't think, we do the fire combat, and then the defender does the morale checks first. That's what it is. So we'll start over here. We have this cavalry is strength point 3. He's firing at the infantry brigade that's in the woods. So we start off at 3 again. So he is 3 strength points. No, there's no morale modifier here because he's at 0 on his morale. So I think it's just, well, let's see. Cavalry versus infantry is a -1, so that'll take him back down to 2. So rolling 3, looking for 2 or less. So that's 1 hit. 1 hit on that infantry brigade. Now this unit, I believe it's the same situation. It's identical, except he gets to roll 4d10, looking for a 1 or a 2 to hit. That looks like 2 more hits. Wow. So that's a total of 3 hits on that unit. All right. And now the infantry brigade gets to return fire. Firing, it's going to split his fire, so it's going to be 4d10 at this first unit. So it starts off at 3. It's infantry firing at, infantry firing at cavalry. So it gets 2 added to that, so it's at 5. And +1 morale gets it to 6. So looking for 6 or less against that cavalry. That movement factor is lost here. That was for approach fire. So, oh my God, he rolled 3 10s. So that's only 1 hit. Ew, that was not good. So there's a hit, and then same thing against the cavalry that's just south of the first one, looking for 6 or less. And that's 2 hits. That's a little better. Not much better, but that's a little better. All right, so that is done. Here we have an engagement, 2 engagements. We have 1 here. Let's start with the Confederates. It's firing into the woods. -1 for the morale. And then it is cavalry attacking infantry, so it gets -1 for that. Yikes, so it's got to get a 1. It is 4d10. So got to get a 1 to hit. Complete miss. And now the infantry brigade fires back. It gets 6 strength points to fire. And did I? Oh, so he only got to fire. He was only 3 strength points. Doesn't matter again because they all missed. He had to roll a 1. But gotta watch out for that. So that he's really strength point 3. He should have only rolled 3 d10s. Didn't matter though. Okay, so again, the woods, it's a 3 to start off with. And the morale is 0, so no change there. And then infantry versus cavalry, +2, so he's at 5. So looking for a 5 or less to hit. That is 2 hits. That's some sad, sad rolling. And then over here, the Confederates will go first. They only have 1 strength point. I'll check that this time so I don't get it wrong. So they're firing 1d10. No, that's woods. I was going to say, is that clear? No, it's woods still. So starting at 3. -2 takes it down to 1. Cavalry versus infantry is not good, so he's going to have to get a 1 to hit. Which he does. What is that? It's a 10, so it is not. That's a miss. So now the Union is going to fire back with 6 d10s. Starting at 3, 0 because of morale, and then it is infantry firing at cavalry, which we said was +2, so 5, looking for 5 or less to hit that cavalry. So that is 1, 2, 3 hits, and that's probably gonna be bad news for that cavalry unit. 3 hits on that cavalry unit. Now we come over to here. This artillery piece can only shoot at one of these units. Last time we had him shoot at the infantry. Let's have him fire at this cavalry unit. So let's do that. And so he is in the woods. 0 is his morale, but he is artillery firing at cavalry, which gives him a +3. So that's up to 6. Wow. I think that's right. But he only gets one. He only gets to roll 1d10 because he only has 1 strength point. So he fires, and I missed completely. So he fires, and he gets a 6. So that's a hit on the cavalry. But now the cavalry gets to attack. And it is going to roll 4d10. He's not been wounded yet or hit or hurt or whatever. So he's going to fire starting at 3. His morale takes him down to 2. It is cavalry firing on artillery. So it's a -3. He's got to get a 1. Got to get a 1. So he's rolling 4d10s, looking for 1. All miss. And that brings us to over here. So this unit's going to have to split his fire. And where did my tweezers go? This unit is down to 1. He's almost gone. And this unit is down to effectively 4. So I'm going to fire 3 strength points at this one and 2 strength points at that one. We'll start with the top one. So he's going to fire his first 3 strength points, starting at 3 plus 2, it's 5. For his morale, no other modifiers here. It's just 3d10. And that is 1 hit. On this unit, I'm going to put that back there because we got to look at those other markers in just a second. So now he's firing 2d10 at this unit. And again, it's the same thing. 3 for the woods plus 2 for the morale. But he's only rolling 2d10 this time. That is 1 hit. And we'll put 1 hit on... It'll be 1 hit on this unit. And anywhere else. Yes, right here we've got combat or an engagement, as they say. And I don't think I ever resolved this attack either up here, so we're going to have to do that. Okay, so we'll start with the cavalry. The cavalry's going to fire starting at 3, -1 is 2. It is cavalry versus artillery, which takes him down to 0. He's going to have to get a 1. So he rolls, looking for a 1, and he gets a 1. Wow. So that's a hit. Now the artillery fires back. He's got a morale of +1, so that takes him up to 4. It's artillery versus cavalry, which I think we said was +3, so that's going to get him up to 7. And it has 4 d10s worth of strength points. Looking for 7 or less, so that is only 2 hits. Better than nothing, I guess. So 2 hits there. And I can't remember if I had this unit fire back at the artillery. So I know we had these 2 exchange fire. Let's just let it stand as it is because I can't remember and it's not that huge of a deal. So let's go ahead now and let's see. So we resolve the first combat round. And when you go through it, you have to do the defender morale checks first. So the Confederates were attacking here. So, okay, so morale check for this Union infantry unit looking for a 6 or higher. He gets a +1. So he fails his morale check, and that means that is the first hit is a loss and the rest are demoralization. So he's down to 7 strength points. Do they have 7? I think they do have 7 strength point markers. I thought they did. There's one. So that is 7. He's now down to 7 strength points, and he takes 2 demoralizations. Just trade him here for his... All right, and then we come to... Well, let's do this. So it's 1 hit on this cavalry. His morale is 0, so he's got to get a 6 or higher. He passes, so that's a... This 1 hit becomes a demoralize, so he's at 2 demoralization. It'd be nicer if I had these chits organized, but I don't. There's 1. So 2 demoralization. So he's effectively at 2 strength points now. This unit has to pass a morale check, looking for 6 or higher. He passes, so that's 2 more demoralizations. Or I should say another 2 demoralization marker, if I can find one. All right, there's 1. So he is down to effectively 2 strength points. Get rid of that hit marker, and then we're down to here. 2 hits, so this unit has to pass a morale check looking for 6 or higher. He's at a -1 though. But he makes it, so he gets a 6, so these are demoralizations. So 2 more. That will bring him to 3 demoralizations. So he's effectively at 1 strength point. All right, now we're over here. 3 hits on this unit. Got to pass a morale check. Looking for 6 or higher, but he's at -2 morale. Well, he passes. That's good for him. Well, I don't know if that's good or not. Let's see. It's 3 hits. There's 3 demoralizations. That's enough to shatter it. So that wasn't good for him. He disappears into the shattered box. All right, now we're over here. This unit took a hit. -1 morale, looking for 6 or greater. He passes, so that's 1 demoralization marker. We'll take the hit away and put this 1 demoralization marker under him. We'll come over here. This unit took a hit, so looking for 6 or higher, but he's at -2. Well, he passes. These Confederates are passing their morale checks. So he's at strength point 5. So that's going to be 2 demoralization now instead of 1. There's 1. Over here, this unit took a hit. Got to pass his morale check, looking for 6 or higher. He's at -1. He passes his morale check. So he gets 1 demoralization marker. That goes away. Now we're over here. And let's see. So he's at -1, looking for a 6 or higher. He passes his morale check. But that's 2 demoralizations on a 1 strength point unit, so that's going to shatter it. And then finally, we have a hit on this artillery unit. Looking for a 6 or higher, but he gets a +1. Yep, he passes, so he's going to take a demoralization marker. this goes away. All right, nobody can advance, I don't believe. So we did a defender morale checks, attacker morale checks. And I just realized too here, I think, let's see, so forgot about the checking for potential retreats when they took all these hits. No, actually I don't think I forgot the retreats. Well, I did, but I don't think it would have mattered because they passed all the morale checks. And if we check the table, in combat, when you pass the morale rating, there's no retreats. You only retreat if you fail your morale check. So I believe this unit passed his morale check. We can tell real quick because they would have taken a hit if they had failed their morale check. This unit may have taken a hit. See, he did. So he should have to retreat, so we can still fix this. And he's the only one that this one took. Yeah, this one also passed. All the Confederates passed, so I think I got lucky again. And the only unit that's going to retreat would be this infantry unit because it did fail a morale check and take a strength point loss. So it's going to have to retreat 2 spaces away from the enemy. So I'm going to go 1, 2. I was moving back to just south of Leetown here. Now I believe that means that the Confederate cavalry could advance here. Attacker advance after combat. So let's double check that. Yeah, so the question is, do I want to advance into this hex? I don't think so because there's artillery sitting there and they would take a blast to the face. So I'm not going to have anybody advance. So now that's the first round of engagements. There is a potential for a second round of engagements starting over here. So this is another engagement. We still have this and this. And so the rules state here that the second round, if the attacker units are still in zones of control to the defender units, then they're going to have to retreat. So we got to remember that. So this is the second round of Confederate combat. And we return. I'm just looking to see. We don't do bombardment again. We just simply at this point go back to the fire combat rounds again. We'll start here. So this Confederate only has 3 strength points. So it's only 1 D10 he can roll. So he's at 3, -1 morale brings him down to 2. So he's looking for a 1 or 2 to hit. But it's cavalry against infantry. So it's at -1, so he's actually got to get a 1 to hit. Looking for a 1, and he gets a 2. So now this infantry fires back at a 3, but it's infantry versus cavalry +2. That'll get him up to 5. He rolls 3. Let's see. I'm missing a... There it is, behind the chit draw cup. So he gets to roll 6 D10, and he's looking for 5 or less. That is 1, 2, 3 hits. So that's 3 hits here. And we go back over to here. So this one's going to fire 3 D10s. He's at 2 because of the morale, and he's in the woods. So he's looking for, oh wait a minute, it's cavalry versus artillery. So that's going to take him down to, yeah, he's looking for a 1. Gotta roll a 1. Nope. And then this one's going to fire, he's got 3 strength points, 2 of which are demoralized. So he's only got 1 strength point. And he's going to be looking at, well, it's infantry versus artillery. So that's +1. So it's going to be 3 for the woods. +1 will get him to 4. But he's got a -3 morale. So he's back down to 1. So he's got to get a 1 to hit. miss. And now the artillery is going to fire at, we'll just have him fire at this infantry unit. Well, no, we're going to have him fire at that cavalry again, because that seemed to be a better thing for him to do. So he's 3, and it is artillery shooting at cavalry. I think I remember this by now. So it's +3, that'll be 6. No morale change. 1d10, looking for 6 or less. And he rolls a 10. Okay. So that is it for combat here. Now we have combat here. So this unit's going to have to split his fire again. I think we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a 3 and a 2. So let's start. Well, let's start here. So he's going to fire. Let's do the Confederates first. Strength points. He's down to 5. 2 are demoralized, so 3. He's going to roll 3 d10. Looking for a 3 minus 2 because the morale takes him to 1. So he's looking for a 1. Miss. And now this unit can fire. Take a quick look here. He's at 3 strength points. He's really at 2, so he can fire 2 d10. Again, 3 for the woods, minus 1. Takes him down to 2. So he's looking for 1 or 2. Miss. And now the Union unit can fire back. He's going to split his fire. Okay, so it's 3 because of the woods, but then he's at +2 for his morale, so 5. So he's going to fire 3 of his strength points at the infantry north of him. And that rolled an 8, a 1, and a 7, so that's 1 hit on this unit. And he's rolling 2d10 at this other infantry unit. It's the same numbers, looking for a 5 or less. That's 2 hits on that unit. And that is it for the second combat round. So now we do our hit resolution. So 3 hits on this cavalry. He's got to roll a morale check, so he's looking for 6 or greater. He's at a -1 though. That is a failure. So yeah, that's going to be enough to get rid of this unit. So it's 1 loss. I'm just looking to see if it's not eliminated, it's shattered is what happens, because it's 1 loss. We'll take it down to 3. And with all the demoralizations it's already suffered, it's just going to shatter it. All right. That unit was eliminated. Now over here, this unit's got to pass a morale check. It's at -2. It fails. So that hit is going to be a strength point loss. So let's see what we are down to. 6. So it takes it down to 4. Not quite gone yet. So he's effectively now at 2 strength points, is what that means. Okay, then over here, 2 hits to this unit. Let's see, he's got to pass a morale check. He's at -1. He passes his morale check, so it's going to be 2 more demoralization markers. Can he handle that? So it's going to give him 3 demoralization markers with 3 strength points. No, that's going to shatter that unit as well. So I will remove these markers. All right, so that's the end of the second round of combat. So if round 2, then attackers and defenders under control must retreat unless they advance. So The only unit that's still in the zone of control is, well, there's these three. So I am guessing that they must retreat here. All right, let's take a look at this one and make sure we get it right. After round 2, attacker units that are in defender zone of controls must retreat. No defender advance unless they advance after combat during either or both combat rounds. Note, units which occupy hexes into which defender zone of controls do not extend by... Okay, we don't care about that. So basically, this will end the engagement. There's never a third round. So they're going to have... The ones that are in the enemy zones of controls will have to retreat. Because remember, the Confederates were the attackers here. So this unit's going to have to pull back. And I believe, yeah, it's going to have to go back 2 spaces. Is that right? Okay, so 2 spaces. This one's going to have to go... We'll just go around the base of this hill to here. This one will just have to go 1, 2, so we'll go back up to here, which is pretty much where it came from. Oh, and there's this one. It's going to have to go back up the road 1, 2. All right, that is it for the Confederate combat round, and that took a long, long time. So let's go now to the Chippewa Cup, where there's only one chit, and it is the it's the Union combat chit. And I don't think there's anywhere else we can do combat. So that is going to do it for turn number 5. And again, it's, you know, as I looked at this as we were playing, I kept saying that it looked like the Union was going to be wiped out. But now I'm wondering again if that's going to be the case, because I think they did pretty good over here. And I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's certainly interesting. So we will stop it here for now. And when we come back, we will start turn number 6, where the Confederate combat chit will go back into the cup, so they will not have the initiative. All right, again, thank you for watching. If you like what I do, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you back here next time.